Hello, my name is Katie Johnson, and this is my Sociological Imagination autobiography. So let's get to it. I was born in Melbourne in 2006, so in Victoria, and was named Caitlin Rose Johnson to Shane and Vicky, my parents. So I lived there for 2 years as an only child, and that would have impacted my life a lot. I know my parents were probably a lot more careful of me than with my brother, since I was the first child. They didn't really know what they were doing. They had tried for one before me, and that baby had died before it was born, so I think my mum was very grateful to get me, since I was an IVF baby. And yeah, she was just very careful with everything she did. She was very grateful for me, and so she always spent time with me. She was always very careful with me, and I've grown up in a very supportive family. So my mum and dad have been together for 25 years, and hopefully that continues. So I've never really had any unstable family issues or anything like that. So it has been a really good and really stable family to grow up in, definitely. So when I was 2 years old, on the 24th of July 2008, my younger brother Liam was born, so he's 2 years younger than me. And yeah, he's been there for me all the time, and we're really, really close, so that's really great. He's definitely shaped who I am as a person. He's definitely taught me to be patient and kind, and probably shaped a lot of my leadership skills as well, since he often looks up to me for what to do and how to do things. So I do love leadership and leading, and I think that's probably where some of that comes from, having to lead a younger sibling. We love to hang out together. We pretty much do everything together, and hopefully that continues into the future. So when my brother was 6 months old, my parents decided, since we didn't have any other family in Melbourne, that we would move to Tassie, where my parents were both born and where both sets of grandparents lived, and my great-grandparent at that time. So we moved, came over on the Spirit, and settled here in Acton Park, where I have been since then. So we haven't moved again, it's been really good not having to worry about moving or anything. I don't remember moving from Melbourne, and so having this one stable place has been really, really good. So both sets of my families come from an Anglo-Saxon culture, and so we've grown up fully Australian. We've been here for multiple generations, so right down to the lamingtons and meat pies. So I have grown up in a family that's very laid back and honest, and kind of don't really care too much about what happens, just the classic Australian culture, I guess you might say. We've always been very optimistic and kind of like to have a laugh. So that's my family dynamic, and so both sides are from England originally, I believe. That's my grandparents and my great-grandparents as well. So I have, as I said, had a very stable family. So after we moved here from Melbourne, I've seen my grandparents every few weeks, which has been really amazing, and I am really lucky still having both sets. My great-grandmother has since passed away, but I still have 2 sets of grandparents, which has been absolutely amazing, and they've always been there for me to listen to what I have to say or to hear about my achievements, and that's definitely pushed me with a lot of my achievements and what I've done in school and in other areas. Being able to come home and tell them what I've done and have them be proud of me has been a really, really big part of my life. So without them, I don't think I would have got nearly as far as I have. So it's been really great, and they've also passed a lot of their knowledge on to me, especially since they're older people, about manners and things like that. So they have helped me become a more polite person, I think. And that's also been my parents as well, shaping me to always be polite and kind. So they've definitely had the biggest influence on me so far as a person, and obviously my entire primary socialization stage was them, and I am really glad that my grandparents got to have an input on that primary stage as well. So my parents have also imparted a lot of their likes and dislikes onto me. So love of music, especially from my mum, So I started piano when I was in grade 5, and I stopped last year, but I still play. And this is the music in the background is me playing my piano. So I thought that would be a good way to show you what music I like to play. So hopefully you're enjoying that. But yeah, so, and also love of computers and coding from my dad. I love to code games on Python and things like that. And yeah, they've definitely had a huge influence on my life. So I wouldn't ask for any better start with my primary socialization. I think I've had pretty much the perfect childhood. My mum has been a stay-at-home mum since I was born, so she worked really hard before I was born, and then when I was born she was able to just stop work, and ever since she's been at home with me, helping me, and that has been a major influence in my life, being able to come home to a super stable household, knowing my mum's there to talk about me with things or help me with a project or anything like that. She's always been there for me, and that has been amazing. I know a lot of people don't get that opportunity to have their mum be able to stay home with them, but I am super grateful that I have, because she is the most amazing person and she's always been there to help me with whatever I need. So after we moved from Melbourne, one of my first secondary socialization processes would have been church. So my one side of my family, my mum's side, is Christian, and so I've been brought up as a Christian. So I've been going to a church ever since we probably moved here from Melbourne. And yeah, that's been, again, one of the biggest parts of my life. So it's definitely shaped a lot of who I am as a person. Obviously, I have the Bible to guide me with everything like that, and knowing that I've got someone up there looking after me has definitely helped me be more confident, I think, and able to deal with stress a lot better and things like that. So, and definitely, hopefully, helped me be a more kind and considerate person. It's also come with challenges, which I guess has shaped me as a person too, because obviously not everyone's likes Christians, so I have dealt with some backlash from that, especially at MacKillop. I think primary school we'd known each other since we were like kinder, and so everyone just kind of went with it. But in high school, I'm yet to meet another Christian at MacKillop, and there's definitely none in my friend group, and it's definitely been difficult to have such a harsh, different culture, I guess, in high school than I did in primary school. We were very laid back, and I guess we were sheltered now that I've met some of my friends and heard about their primary schools. Like, there wasn't any blasphemy really or swearing at my primary school, and so when I came to MacKillop, that was a huge culture shift, I guess, for me, because there's such a different culture at MacKillop, and yeah, I'm pretty much known as the innocent one in my friend group, because I don't swear, I don't blaspheme, I don't listen to the same music as they do, which I don't really mind. I guess it's true, but yeah, so that's done for me. So yeah, my primary school education was public, so I went to Lauderdale Primary School, and I definitely think that has changed me as a person. I don't regret going to a public school. I do think it was really good to meet people even though I am in the lucky financial situation that my parents could afford to send me to a private primary school, I think it was good that I got to go there and see that everyone wasn't as lucky as me. So I had friends from all different social backgrounds, all different financial situations, and I do think that really helped me be more considerate of other people, rather than if I just went to a private primary school and kind of everyone I knew had what I had. And so I did have friends that couldn't afford to go to MacKillop, for instance, and so that has changed me and allowed me to kind of be more empathetic and know what other people are thinking, and to appreciate what I have as well. So I do like to think I'm grateful, when I would like to continue to do that. So obviously for high school, I go to MacKillop and have done since grade 7. I do like MacKillop. I love school and I love learning, which doesn't always work in my favour at school, but yeah, I do enjoy studying and learning. And I think, yeah, it's been good to go to a private school. I don't know really the difference because I've never been to a public high school, but it has been really good for me. And it has helped me to become a lot more independent. I think I already was quite independent in my learning before, but now being able to kind of balance things and having to get to classes on time and get the right books, it has helped me to become more independent and be more aware of my surroundings and things like that. My peers, I've never loved having a lot of people around, so I pretty much stick with one friend and they're it for quite a while until, I don't know, we kind of drift apart or we get put in a different class. So I had the same best friend from probably kinder to grade 2 and then probably grade 2 to grade 6. So yeah, I don't change a lot. I much prefer having a close-knit group of friends. In my test results, I wasn't an introvert or an extrovert. I was kind of in the middle because I don't mind having a largish friend group, but I do prefer a close inner circle within that group, which I have at MacKillop. So at primary school, my best friend from there, from grade 2 to grade 6, went to Clarence, and so we've been split up, but we do still try and see each other because she has been super important in my life and definitely helped me get through some hardships. And so yeah, we definitely want to keep in touch and hopefully go to the same college. And my peers at MacKillop, most of them I met on the first day of grade 7 and we haven't really been separated since. So yeah, we've added a few, but we haven't really lost anyone. And yeah, that's my group of friends, and they've been amazing for me. And they definitely have influenced me a lot, especially in how to be a teenager. I'm not really into the music or the clothes or anything like that, so they help me stay up to date with that. And yeah, just being there for me, being someone to hang out with recess and lunch in the holidays, things like that. And yeah, they've definitely helped me to do that. So I'm probably less judgmental now than I was in year 7, because when I got to year 7 there was like 120 new people and I was kind of making judgments about every single one of them, and then as I went through and got to know them, I figured out that most of those judgments were wrong. And so now it kind of helps me to go and look at someone and maybe make a judgment, but then go, hey, that might not be right, because so many of my prior judgments were in grade 7. So I do try and be less judgmental now. For my media, social media, I've never really had a lot of saturation of that because my parents are very strict. They don't want me on that sort of stuff. And so the first social media I got was in year 7 when I got Snapchat to keep up with my friend who went to Clarence. And so yeah, my dad especially has always been very careful not to let me on any type of social media, and I am very grateful for that in my younger years, because I'm now able to kind of sort through that and work out what I should listen to, what I shouldn't. And so I don't think I could have done that when I was younger, and it also kind of kept me away from that body image things, the problems that they have with that, and the fake news and the celebrities and things that younger kids find it hard to deal with. So I am glad that I was kept away from that, but I'm glad I have it now. It's really good to keep in touch with people. Media in other forms, so music, a lot of pop music. I don't know, I don't listen to a lot of it, but yeah, you can hear some of it in the background now. I like to play music rather than listen to it as such. And TV shows, when I was younger, my 2 favourite TV shows would have been Dora the Explorer and The Night Garden. So my parents did like me to have educational shows, so we watched a lot of those when we were younger. And yeah, they probably taught me a lot about social norms and things like that as well. So they might have slightly been part of my primary socialisation when I was really young, teaching me how to behave towards people and how to treat others and how to react to different social situations in the world around me. Now that I'm grown up, I still like a lot of the Disney movies. I think they're really fun, and things like The Greatest Showman, and yeah, lots of different TV shows on. But yeah, I don't really watch a lot of TV. We do a lot of streaming and things on 9 now, but yeah, it's mostly, and I love to read books. I don't know if they count as media or not, but that's one of my favourite things to do, and I have been taught that from my mum and my granddad as well, how important books are. And so I was reading from a very young age, and I still enjoy. I've got whole bookshelves in my room full of books. And as for my personality tests, so I took the Big 5 personality test, and I got 13 in extroversion out of 100, I believe. So I'm not much of an extrovert. I don't think many people are in our class, but yeah. So that means I don't like large groups of friends. I don't like to be in the limelight. I prefer to just cruise along behind everyone's notice kind of thing. I'm not a drama queen. I don't like attention or drama or anything like that. I just prefer to kind of sit back and have my close group of friends and kind of hang with them. I don't need a lot of attention or anything like that, and I am just as happy to be alone reading a book as I am, and probably more so than at a large social gathering. I do enjoy spending time with my friends, but I'm just as happy to sit alone and be reading a book. Emotional stability was 70, so I do think I'm quite emotionally stable. Kind of, my mum and my brother are kind of very emotional, and they get that from my granddad, I think, but I'm a lot more like my dad, who's kind of a solid rock, I guess. So I do have a lot of emotions, but I don't like to show them. I don't think it's really necessary to show a lot of my emotions, so if I'm stressed, I kind of don't show it. If I'm upset or scared, I prefer just to keep it to myself rather than show it to other people. But yeah, so emotional stability, I don't change my emotions a lot. I prefer to just remain calm and logical rather than get upset about things. Agreeableness is 71. I much prefer to get along with people than to upset them. And yeah, I think that's probably come from my mum. She prefers to avoid conflict at any cost, and I think I'm a lot like that as well. Sometimes it's probably comes across as I'm a bit of a pushover, maybe, I don't know. I do anything to avoid upsetting someone most of the time. I don't like to do anything that might make them angry at me or annoyed, and so that does not work in my favour some of the time, but most of the time I think it does help me be a more likeable person, hopefully, and yeah, probably helps me get a lot of friends, I think. Conscientiousness was 72, which was the highest of all of them, and I do agree with this. I'm always on top of my work. I always am very independent in everything I have to do, so if someone says I have to do something, I get on and I do it, and I'm very good with deadlines and getting stuff done. I hate to disappoint people again, so very conscientious in pretty much all areas of my life, so school, home chores and things like that. So yeah, definitely, and all of my extracurricular activities as well. Intellect / imagination was 65, so I do work very hard on my intellect, and I am very grateful for what I've been given, and so I try very hard in my classes. And imagination, I do probably do the most imagination, like have the most imagination out of me and my brother. So if we need to find something to do or whatever, I'll think of something, and it's always been that way ever since we were little. So if we were bored, I'd make up a game or anything, and I do enjoy everything to do with crafts. So I paint, I draw, I knit, I needle felt, pretty much everything you can think of to do with craft I do. And yeah, also music helps with imagination as well, and being able to express yourself through music. So that's me, pretty high in everything except extroversion. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the photos.